Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, welcome to our webinar today. We are going to be giving you a little insight into our upcoming conference, November 10th and 11th, our first virtual conference, Charting the Course. So please join us as we go over what the deal market will look like, as well as our online platform, and a quick overview of the schedule. And joining us today, we have Scott Bushke.
Hello.
And also Lamar Stanley.
Hello.
So we're going to kick it off with going over just the value proposition of our online event, the format, and then we've got some insight into the deal market and also just in general doing deals in a virtual environment.
Perfect. I can take it from here, Laura. This is Lamar Stanley. As Laura mentioned, I'm with GenCap America and on the board with M&A Source. And I first want to emphasize to everyone, we wanted to quote unquote interrupt our usual webinar programming with a discussion around the conference, just because it's a new environment, the virtual platform that we're going to be using. So we want to give everyone a lesson in it and to give everyone a good feel for how to use it and get the most value out of the conference. And I use the word value intentionally because we were pretty intentional about what we were looking for out of a conference. As someone who has participated in a lot of Zoom calls, as I'm sure everyone has, and a lot of virtual conferences to date, we were pretty specific about the things that we were looking to get out of it, and also providing the membership of M&A Source with a lot of value in this conference and not just another opportunity to stare at their screen for a few hours. So, but we talked to people about what the cost should be to the conference, and we also wanted to point out, kind of going into what all this conference will look like in the value proposition to people, because I know us at GenCap, as well as a number of other firms that I've talked to, have had to think carefully about what we're going to participate in terms of conferences and the things that we are going to bow out of, and I think this one is a no-brainer. Frankly, the cost, as you can see there in previous years on the right, is basically what it would cost for us to participate in one of these conferences in real life. So go to the place, the location, book a hotel, book a conference, book the flights, meals, and then that's excluding anything else that might have been around the edges that you spend money on. The beauty of this conference is, while it is expensive for a virtual environment, you're getting all of the value in the programming. And while you can say, yeah, we're going to miss out on some of the network opportunities in the hallways and that type of stuff, what I think is a chief benefit of these types of conferences and the platform that we use is it's extremely efficient. And what I mean by that is you get to consume programming at your desk with your coffee, and during breaks, in between meetings, that type of stuff, you can bang out emails. So instead of having a 2-day lag time traveling, getting back and forth, going from the hotel to the conference center, those types of things, this conference just enables a lot of efficiency without much in terms of degradation of the conference, based on our review of the platform. But Laura, if you want to go to the next slide too, we have another price chart that shows what it would be for just that's versus a regular attendee. So still pretty significant saving if you factor in all the other things that come into in person. But don't want to belabor that point. Pretty intuitive, but we did at least want to emphasize that yes, it may feel like you're spending a lot for a virtual environment, but we feel like it's going to be worth it. And on that note, we can go to the next slide and talk a little bit about the format. I think I'll kick it over to Laura Scott here.
So the platform we are using is Conference Scheduling Solutions. Our platform offers space for casual networking and also for one-on-one private deal meetings. So this is just a little bit about those private deal meetings, just to give you a visual. Everyone who is coming to the conference will have a profile in the platform. Both the intermediary attendees and the private equity groups. And you will use these profiles to schedule your meetings. So you can go through and look at everyone's profile info. We have preloaded some criteria to help you sift through and figure out the private equity groups or the intermediaries that match your interest. And so you can request meetings from there. It's as simple as clicking a button to request a meeting. Once you've submitted that request, you'll see that the meeting status is pending. When that when there's pending meetings, you can go and look at all of your requests. So one thing that's unique about this platform is you can see incoming people who have requested to meet with you. You can pick a time based on your availability. If you don't want to meet with them or you're not sure yet, you're waiting on some other pending request, you can just snooze the meeting and then come back to it later. So, say you've picked out your top 5 intermediaries that you want to meet with, you haven't heard back from all of them and you're getting some other requests. You can hold off on those requests to see where your schedule fits best, with your top selected people, and then you can always go back and confirm those meetings later on as you see how your schedule is panning out. This is an example of what your schedule will look like. So on your personal page, it'll show all of the workshops, all of the sessions that we're going to be doing, as well as all of your one-on-one meetings. It's super simple. All you do is click on the in the blue under the subject, and it will take you directly where you need to be. So if it's a one-on-one secure virtual meeting room, it'll take you directly into that room. If it's a workshop, it'll take you to our virtual ballroom where you will see the workshop. So there's not any hunting, not any guessing. It's all right there in your schedule. This is an example of the virtual ballroom. This is where I referenced kind of the casual networking opportunities. This is like you would at a, big round table in our ballroom. You sit down and you say hi, introduce yourself, chat. It's the same thing, just virtually. So this setup allows you to move from table to table. You can chat with the people at your table. You can move in and out of conversations. You can even meet with a fellow intermediary or a fellow private equity group. Say, hey, I'm on. There's going to be 3 different floors. You say, hey, I'm on the 2nd floor, find me and let's sit down and chat. So these are not secure meetings. People can move in and out of these conversations as they would like, but it just gives you the opportunity to have a little more of that, that casual interaction like we would have in person. This is also where we will have our workshops. So if you're sitting at a table and chatting and it's time for a workshop, the system will pull you in to the video and you will see the workshop. Another feature that we have during the presentations is when people are asking questions and chatting, which we encourage you to do. If you see someone has a question that you really want answered, or you like, oh, I had that exact same question, you can like the question, and the more people that like it and interact with it, it'll kind of go up to the top. So the speakers know, what are the most present questions? Do 15 people have that exact same question, just to make sure that we get the topics that are front of mind with each presentation answered. And all of our panelists will be available, and we've got question and answer built in. So please, interact with us and bring your questions there. And this is the start of the schedule. So Scott, I'll turn it over to you to do a run through of the schedule and tell us a little more about the different workshop topics.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. And yes, as we looked at this, we said, okay, what does this allow us to do differently, or what else can we add? And as you said, we've searched out, Emmy and Laura's team have really searched out, along with the conference planning committee, all the different formats. And, the one thing that I will say is the format that we're using is, especially for the deal market, people go, oh man, is this going to be a cluster, or how does this work? And we can tell you that ACG has used this for their big national event and also for one of their regional events. So it's been proven and tested, and we're excited to use it. But yeah, we're going to kick off on Tuesday, November 10th, 10:30 Eastern time, with our keynote, Dennis McKinty, taking the drama out. And I've seen Dennis live. He's a really great speaker, and really going to talk about, how do you not tolerate the drama and take it out of your life? I know none of you have had drama in a deal, or anybody within a deal team, or within your office, but for those few that have, like us, those are the things that he's really going to teach you how to create high trust, high performance relationships that produce great results, and just being so much more efficient with your time, developing drama-free communication processes, understanding the top 2 components for every successful interaction, and so much more. So it really is going to be something that you can take right into helping you close more deals, helping you in your personal life, family life, whatever it might be, to try to take the drama out. And that's really what we looked at is with this whole theme is how can we do things that just aren't the things that we do time after time, but really bringing, we listened to everybody and what they were looking for, and bringing some of the favorites back, but also looking at some new ideas and new topics that, are definitely top of mind in today's COVID environment, and moving forward into 2021, and see what that brings us. So after the keynote, we have 4 different workshops. The first workshop is going to be, and this is one that we brought back due to this was the highest rated workshop over the last couple of years, and one that people wanted back was war stories. So a lot of times they talk about, deals that had some bumps and how they got them done. We're going to flip the script, at least on a couple of stories of deals that should have got done, and what the M&A advisor and or business owner did to really screw up the deal. What did they say? What did they do? What didn't they do that at the end of the day blew that deal up? So again, we all can learn from each other's mistakes, and this will be one where we'll have several different PE firms and other family offices that will talk with Greg Carpenter leading this one, and should be a really good opportunity to really see, boy, if glad I didn't do that, or I was going to do that, next week, and maybe I'll think twice about saying that or doing that or whatever it might be. So that is the first one. The second panel that we have is workshop around management presentations or facility tours. We always talk about nothing beats that first impression, and when you're getting that buyer and seller together, what should that just be hey, let's just get to know you and kind of Q&A and maybe take a tour of the facility, or should it be a much more structured slide deck presentation by the owner and maybe part of their management team? So what are the pros and cons of that? Should it include lunch or dinner? How long should these be? Examples of when you thought a company was great and you were completely turned off, or examples of when you thought the company was okay, but after you got through that management presentation, you said, boy, this is really one that you had to buy. So Kyle Madden's going to be leading a group of other PE firms and family offices to really talk to, how does this work? What's the best that they've seen? So, these guys are looking at and checking out companies pre-COVID, at least, of a lot, all over the country. So what are some of the best things that they've seen that really helped move a deal along, and what are some things that did not move a deal along? So I think this is an area that we really have not touched on in past conferences that I'm excited to really learn more, because this is one that can make or break a deal when you get everybody together. And then after that, we're going to jump into the deal market, from 2 to 5:30, and then IBBA roundtable, the session of people with IBBA or people that are in M&A that are looking to get into low middle market. We can talk about what that is and how that might work, and how you can get more involved in M&A Source and things along that line. So that'll take us to the end of the day with the deal market. And then the next morning we'll kick off again at 10:30 Eastern time. And the topic will be profiles of typical types of capital providers. So really, Gary's going to moderate that, Gary Rogers, and it'll be the analysis, and we'll compare private equity funds, family offices, independent and fundless sponsors, and search funds. So just the pros and cons of how they all work and how they're different. And so when you get a call from someone, not everybody's just a P firm. I know we use that word a lot, but is it committed capital or not? And just all the different ways that they raise capital and likelihood of close and pros and cons of each of patient capital versus non-patient capital and more rigid timeframes. So I think that's good as we see, I know we're seeing here at Cornerstone, a lot of the buyers in the marketplace right now are, PE firms and family offices and search funds and alike. So to really understand how to work with those folks and as they need to deploy capital, I think it will be a really great topic that Gary's going to lead us through. And then lastly, I'll be moderating a panel on pre-market due diligence. So again, looking at how can we all have a better closing ratio? How can we have a better chance of getting to close? Because whether you charge upfront fees or monthly fees or not, we all know that our fees at the end of the day come when we're successfully selling that company, and that's how we build up our reputations as well. So, how can you stack the deck in your favor and set things up for success? So we'll have someone talk about a quality of earnings report, and obviously the buyers do those and their due diligence, but how can we do those up front? When should you recommend a QOV on the sell side, and what goes into that? What are the costs? How long does it take? When should you start it? How can you use it when you're presenting the company to maximize the value to the potential buyers? And so we'll touch on that. Another area that most business owners go, oh yeah, no worries, it should be no problem, is HR landmines. What are all the HR landmines that will come up in diligence? So again, looking at those up front, we'll have Amy talking to those, and she works for a lot of private equity firms that are actually going in on the buy side to pick up a company apart to make sure that there's no hidden skeletons in the closets or any issues that would allow them to either create more risk to drive down the value or walk away from the deal altogether. So again, working with both of those people up front, and if there are any issues, putting them out on the table or taking the time to get them fixed before you go to market. As we all know, we get one chance to really go to market and do it right. And then the last person we're going to have is Michael Kerrigan. He's a financial planning consultant or financial advisor, and he's going to talk about how to have that conversation early on with a client, a business owner, of do they know what they need to get out of their business? And most go into this on a reactive basis, and maybe it's not fun anymore. Or I'm just in retirement. I hope and pray that what I get out of my business is going to be enough to live my lifestyle, and they don't know, and they might end up saying things and doing things that don't make sense, or ultimately backing out of the deal after you've got hundreds of hours into this. So talking about how to sit down with a financial advisor and understand what they truly need to live their lifestyle up front, and then gives them that confidence to know, okay, I know I need a net of $4 million out of my business sale after taxes and fees and debt and everything else, and I could live my ideal lifestyle. So if it's over that, great. If it's under that, I need to either make an adjustment to my lifestyle or continue to work in the business. But that way they're not second guessing themselves all the way through the process. So it really will help, I think, get an idea of how we can maximize that certainty of sale on the backside. And then we've got an award ceremony. After that, we're going to be doing our normal awards, and we also have a new awards program this year, which is going to be recognizing many of our members for achieving different size dollar amounts. So if you did over 5 million in value, over 15 million in enterprise value, to be able to join the Platinum Club or the Executive Club, or M&A Advisor of the Year, and then getting into different P Firm of the Year and in other such. And there's also M&A Top Firm of the Year that's broke down between 1-person firms, 2 to 5-person firms, and 5 to 10-person firms, and 10 plus. So some a lot of new exciting awards that will be able to recognize all of you for your hard work, and hopefully you put in your awards now. Otherwise, again, next year we'll be doing 2020 results for 2021 in spring. Which we would have done in spring, but obviously we had to push back since we didn't have the conference. And then we're kind of a bonus is bringing in the economist. So again, we there's a lot of uncertainty in the world right now that, we'll have a new president by then, or at least the election will be done by then. We will have, we still have COVID and everything else going on. And so he's going to come in and really talk about what their prediction is for the next 12 to 18 months with all these uncertainties in the marketplace and how that might come back to the M&A marketplace and what you can share with your clients as you help them make, well-informed decisions if they should go to market on the buy side, sell side, or whatever it may be. And then following up with the deal market again from 3 to 5:30. And the two deal markets again combined are going to be 6 hours. And if you can flip to the next slide, what we've really set up is that the deal markets, and I'll cover the courses here in a second, but the deal markets, you're going to have 15-minute segments and 24 different potential opportunities. So probably more than you would have had in a normal deal market. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in detail. So the courses that we have, they're going to start the week before, a little bit different. We're going to stack them up so you're not going back to back if you want to take courses. So we have sell side modeling to maximize value. That's a new course, I believe. And I think that's a lot of people are signing up for that one. So I think limited seating is somewhat limited. I'm not sure how many people they're going to have in. That's virtual, but maybe they'll have as many as they possibly can. But I know that one's been well attended. And that one's going to be really good. We have not taught that one before. Thursday is going to be preparing a business for sale to maximize the value and managing the M&A auction process. Again, both of those are, if you're new or if you've been in the business for a while, those are great courses to really understand how to drive a structured sale process and to really maximize the value for your client and show the value that you can bring besides what your competitors can do. And then Friday, course 450, M&A industry update, key topics and trends for 2020. That should be an interesting discussion of all the things that have gone on in 2020 and where they think 2021 will go. And then Monday before the conference, day before the conference, we'll have business valuations for M&A and then case studies in M&A. And I know the case studies one has been one that's been well attended in the past because, again, we all learn from each other, and no better way to learn from other people's stories and what's worked and what hasn't worked. So we got a lot of good courses, a lot of new courses that for folks to take, and we're excited to have you all take those as well. Yeah, so here's the deal market. I'll just a couple notes, and then Lamar, anything you want to come in from the private equity side of things, buyer side of things. But as we said, it's going to be one-on-one videos. This has been tested before with other associations with the software that we're using. So, the nice thing is, Laura, I believe that once you're in the CSS system, you really stay in there all day long, and it's simple and easy to move from one meeting to workshop to the next, or into these different meetings once they're set up. And like I said, there'll be 15-minute segments, and then you'll jump in. And what I would say, I guess I'll wait to the next slide. Lamar, if you want to have any other thoughts on this topic.
No, I just want to echo what you said. It's pretty easy, and it's also extremely efficient. 24 blocks, as the slide indicates, and while 15 minutes feels like a short period of time, what you have to realize is in this setting, we're gaining the time that you would otherwise spend searching for tables or trying to figure out, which guy in the jacket you're looking for and that type of thing. So it really works really well for the best use of everyone's time.
Yeah, and if you want to jump to the next slide, Laura, the nice thing is too is that we're still going to put together the book of what everybody's looking for virtually, and everybody will get that ahead of time, so you can do your research on which groups you really want to get in front of. This is going to open up about 2 weeks before the actual deal market, so look for that email coming in to make sure that you get the top spots that you want with the firms that you want to meet with. Have your teasers ready, so you can either share a screen or you can email them to them while you're on the call. And again, I would jump in and get right into, what are they looking for? What kind of deals do you have for them that you think make the most sense? Lamar, what would you say, minimum EBITDA for an add-on, would you say it's $1 million, or would you go down to something lower than that? Or what were your thoughts there?
No, for an add-on, I would say even smaller, roughly around 500K. But I think it actually speaks to Gary's workshop, I think it was on Wednesday morning, about the profiles and different types of capital. Is other groups are going to have different minimums, but I think 500K is probably a good starting point for deals in this environment. And if you have teasers, that's even better, just because it gives everyone a little bit more information to work off of and discuss while we have that 15 minutes and ask questions. And then, you know, people can get to answers pretty quickly with that type of information. At a minimum, they can, you know, people can delineate, do they want to pursue or do they want to turn it on the spot? So it's a pretty good use of time. In terms of, also, if you don't have a teaser, that doesn't mean, you know, that deal is not fit for the deal market. I always encourage folks, and we do the same thing, is, you know, we use the deal market as a market pulse tool, if you will. So, you know, it's a great opportunity to run a deal by 24 different groups. You know, let's say that you're an intermediary and you're considering taking on an engagement. You could probably get a pretty decent feel for the market's appetite for that opportunity by talking to us. And similarly, you know, we can get a feel for how much of a certain type of roll-up opportunities there are out there by talking to intermediaries. So it's a great place to just kind of cross-pollinate everyone's exposure and get a feel for what everyone else is seeing out there.
Yeah, Lamar, I think that's
Scott.
I was just going to jump in there. You know, I think that's a good point that, you know, I've done that before, to say, you know, hey, I've got a seller that's on the fence. You know, would you guys have any interest in this type of a company with this type of sales and EBITDA? And if nobody says they're interested, well, then I don't maybe push too hard. But if I can get 5 groups to say, yeah, I'd love to see that teaser or that deal, now you can go back to your seller and say, hey, I personally talked to 5 different buyers and they all really like the deal. You know, I really do think it makes sense to possibly go to market. You might be able to get them off the fence and get them to be a client of yours, versus they kind of float, you know, go away, and then all of a sudden you read in the paper one day or get an email about the press release that they sold to somebody else because somebody called them at the right time, right place, and you missed out on that opportunity. And also, if you do have a deal, I would say, you know, make sure it's not you know, again, all good companies and good business owners, but, you know, they're not going to invest in too many bars, restaurants, retail, hospitality, which probably aren't a lot of those on the market right now anyways, with, unfortunately, how much trouble that a lot of those are in. But, you know, your manufacturing, your distribution, your technology, your healthcare, you know, 500,000, you know, or above in EBITDA, you know, those are the kinds of companies that they're probably going to be looking for. And if you don't have any deals at all, you know, and you're just getting into the lower middle market or want to get into it, what I've done, you know, for many times is I'll just go and kind of the opposite of what Lamar talked about, is I'll just ask them, hey, you know, here's the kind of deals that we typically do. I don't have anything for you right now, but Lamar, what are you guys looking for? What are the hot industries you're really trying to get into or looking for an add-on? And then I'll make notes for, you know, the 24 groups that I talk to. And if, you know, all of a sudden, you know, 15 of the groups say they all want this industry, I might start doing some marketing in that industry, because I know if I find a seller, I've got 15 different buyers that, you know, are going to be competing for that deal. So, you know, there's a lot of different ways that you can use the deal market other than just bringing, you know, a deal to the market that you have currently.
Yep.
Lamar, any other thoughts?
Yeah, I'll just add that, you know, just because you don't have deals or you don't know what you want to talk about in terms of industry, that doesn't make, and another important use of the deal market for us is we get to learn about everyone, intermediaries, different practices. So I encourage folks to kind of, you know, think about what their pitch is, their elevator speech about what exactly they do. And what I mean by that is, you know, do you have any specialties in terms of industry? You know, are there typical deal sizes where you operate most of the time? And you know, maybe describe your process for shopping deals. And similarly, we always encourage people to ask questions of us. And going back to Gary's workshop on profiles and different types of private capital, you know, learn what it is that makes each group different. While, you know, if you kind of stand back and squint, every private equity firm looks about the same. But once you get down into their strategies, and if you talk to them during these deal market, you can see the different places where they tend to fit better. You know, if it's a family transition you're working with, a certain group might be better than if you're trying to bring on growth capital and so, or a minority investment. And there are all these little niches that the different groups fill. So that's another good use and, pretty risk-free environment to ask questions and learn so that you can put these things. And I'll also say a benefit to the virtual setting is, at least I do this, is I take a lot of notes when I'm in this virtual setting, because if I'm on location in person at a deal market, frankly, there's just not much time for notes, because you're going from meeting to meeting, and at the end of the day, you'll go to a cocktail reception or dinner, and then you just never really get around to getting the granular detail that you would have liked to. Whereas in this deal market environment virtually, there's going to be great opportunity to take good notes and keep up with who you met with, because I know I find myself during live and in-person conferences getting to the end of the day and forgetting what my morning meetings were, or so on and so forth. So that's just another added benefit. But outside of that, I just encourage people to book themselves up. It's 24 blocks, but it's pretty doable when you're sitting at your desk and being able to bang out emails during your potential breaks.
Yeah, we're excited to kick this off and really see where it goes. I think it is going to be efficient. I know I've talked with plenty of PE firms, and they're very excited about this, because, like you said, they not only save in the travel cost, but it just is, they can be sitting at their desk working on an email and then jump onto a call and be able to, for 2 hours, just learn about deals and sitting right at their desk. So it could be a little bit more of a wave of the future. You never know where it goes.
Right.
And I'd like to, as a conference planning chair, I'd just love to thank our sponsors, and obviously GenCap, Lamar, he's been great, and he's been a sponsor for us for a while. Kyle and KLH has been a sponsor for a long time. And we thank you guys. Zabel Companies, a newer sponsor, also will be in the deal market. So definitely make sure you sit those three in the deal market. The Asset Exchange LLC as well. And Sikich is also a new sponsor, and I've actually used them before. They've got a whole team that focuses on QOVs, and for that's, like we talked about on the sell side of things, and they were really good to work with and efficient, both from a cost standpoint and a timing standpoint. And again, make sure that you talk to these sponsors, as you both inside the conference and also outside, because they're all good folks and great companies to work with.
Great.
Thank you,
Any
Scott
questions?
Lamar. Yeah, any questions? We'll open it up.
If y'all have any questions, you can either raise your hand like we do in the regular webinars, and I will happily unmute you, or you can type them in the questions section and we can read them off to our three presenters.
Or Lamar did such a good job explaining everything, no one has any question.
Never been the case, but I will say that if anyone does have questions and wants to reach out to us afterwards, feel free to hit us up.
Yeah, me too.
We've gotten a few thank you for the preview. More thanks for the question, which is always nice.
Thank you. Well, if you feel free to reach out to any of us if you have any questions about registration, or when you gain access to the platform, have any questions there, please reach out. We are here to help and help guide you. This will also be made available along with some even more extensive guidance and helpful tips and tricks for the platform itself as we get closer to conference. And like Scott said, we will be giving you access 2 weeks in advance, so you can get in and start scheduling those meetings, start researching who you want to meet with, and build that schedule for the conference day of.
Laura, we do have a question that came in. The question was, for the courses, what will be distributed in advance?
So the course books are going to be made available in advance. A few of our courses also are going to have some case studies and some other supplementary material. So all of our courses are going to be accessed through our learning management system, Digital Chalk. Your profile will be created on Digital Chalk, and the courses that you registered for will be populated for you on your account. So all you have to do is go to it and click on your course day of, but they will be there in advance with those materials on there. So when you log in, you'll see the courses that you've registered for. You click on it, you'll have the link for day of, and then you'll also have your course book and then any other supplementary materials. For example, I know Dave's Swimmer course is going to have some case studies that you can go on and review all those in advance. So if you want to do a little pre-work the week before your courses, all of that will be there and available for you.
All right, let's see. We have a couple more thank you guys, and thank you everyone for joining us today. If anybody has any questions about the recording or anything conference related, please don't hesitate to reach out the admin email through the chat function on your membership. To really any email address you find on the website, we answer all of them, and we check all of them regularly. So we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Thank you all. Look forward to seeing you all virtually here in a couple of weeks.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, and with that, we are going to wrap it up. Thank you everybody so much, and we will see you later.